Well guys, I don't think this video needs any clever intro. It's the OnePlus 3. Before getting into the phone, there is a reason I named this video the OnePlus 3 Experience and not just another review video. To me, there is a whole lot more decision making as to why I buy tech rather than just having crazy amounts of RAM. 2 days ago, I attended the OnePlus pop-up event in New York City. Although it was crazy amounts of driving, it was all completely worth it. It was held at Magnum, a super fancy ice cream place in Manhattan. I got there pretty early and was about 50 people back from the front. By the time the doors opened, the line ran a little over 2 blocks, which is pretty impressive for a pretty small company. Once inside, they had the phone and cases nicely on display. And the people running the event, these are not your average employees. Carl, the co-founder, was there, as well as the project manager, who I got to talk in line with. He was literally the guy who made every decision on the hardware of this phone. Pretty cool. We then got in line and got the phone alongside an awesome swag bag filled with custom fan-made OnePlus stickers, a dash charging shirt, and a killer OnePlus branded tech bag. Oh, and we got free ice cream, so there's that. Now onto the phone. Unlike most other budget brands out there, OnePlus refuses to skimp out on packaging and the oh-so-fun unboxing experience. The box was significantly bigger this year even though it was a smaller phone. Maybe to make room for the quite large 4-amp power brick, but either way it's a rectangle, so nothing crazy here. The overall design of the phone is a huge upgrade in my opinion. It is now a full metal casing with no removable back, which I first was upset about, but then once I needed to access the SIM card on my OnePlus 2 to transfer it to the 3, I instantly knew it was the right move to ditch it and make them into different cases like they did on the OnePlus X. The cases do fit very nicely, but don't expect military grade drop resistance. Probably my favorite part of the case is while yes it is very thin, it does fill out the phone just enough to make the camera bump non-existent. The bottom does very much look like a backwards iPhone, and yes, the back of it does look like it's from HTC, but I will say to you what I said to people in line at the event. There are only so many ways you can make a rectangle. The speaker has to go somewhere, the charging port really should stay on the bottom in the middle, and the antennas do need to go somewhere as well. We complain that all smartphones are starting to look the same, but imagine if someone put the charging port on top. I mean, come on, everyone would be crazy angry. I love that OnePlus pays attention to their button quality. Most of the time it is extremely overlooked, but here all buttons feel very premium, strong, and in my opinion, perfectly placed throughout the phone. The display is another place for controversy. The OnePlus 3 is rocking a Super AMOLED 1080p screen. A lot of people were questioning a product that launched using VR only to have a non-UHD screen. But here's the thing. When I pixel peep and hold up a Galaxy S7 Edge or any other UHD phone, sure, I can tell a difference, but at regular distance and everyday use, 1080p is in my opinion the smart choice for smartphones. It is super contrasty, great colors, good brightness, and pretty good in direct sunlight as well. Let's get some quick benchmarks out of the way here. In Geekbench 3, the OnePlus 3 got beat in the single core test by the iPhone 6s Plus due to the iPhone having a higher clocked CPU, but with twice as many cores, the OnePlus came back for the win in the multi-core test. And of course, the OnePlus 2 coming in third in both categories. In 3D Mark Slingshot, the Adreno 530 of the OnePlus 3 came in first compared to the GPU on both the iPhone and the OnePlus 2. I personally hate diving super in depth into benchmarks since they rarely tell the story of how a phone will react in real life, but I will be doing a separate video soon enough just showing the different tests between a OnePlus 1, a OnePlus 2, and a OnePlus 3, so stay tuned for that. With Oxygen OS running on top of the latest Android Marshmallow OS, this thing flies. Launching apps, switching between them is like butter. Let's hope that lasts. One last thing on speed, the fingerprint sensor. A lot of people have talked about it, calling it amazing and fast, and the only true competitor to the iPhone's Touch ID. But if I'm being honest, this thing is clearly the champion. Not only is this sensor not a physical button, so all you have to do is lightly rest your finger on it, but the awake animation on the iPhone, in my opinion, takes way too long. Even with the reduced motion and accessibility settings turned on, the OnePlus in my experience is still way faster. The battery is what I disliked most on the OnePlus 2, so when I saw that they chopped 300 mAh off and went with a smaller battery on the OnePlus 3, I was definitely scared, but so far, so good. The 3000 mAh battery seems to be better optimized, and I left it overnight without charging it to find it only lost a respectable 5-ish or so %. Let's hope that stays the story for months to come. Now the big new feature with the battery is dash charging. Plain and simple, this thing will get about 60% charge in just under 30 minutes. Like MKBHD said in his review, I have found that I don't need to charge my phone overnight anymore, but just top it off whenever I need battery. That brings us to the camera. I think this camera is a huge improvement over the OnePlus 2. It's not that I didn't like the quality of the OnePlus 2's camera, but the app is greatly improved here, especially in performance. The live view isn't totally laggy anymore, switching between photos and video modes is fast and easy, and of course taking the picture is fast and the image processing is very well done in my opinion. It isn't over the top like some phones, in my opinion, like Samsung. I can definitely see some sharpening happening, but again, it's not over the top. The front-facing camera is also very nice. Camera apps a lot of the time have hugely over-the-top gimmicky features, but this app is pretty light. The closest thing to a gimmick that I actually kind of like is the smile selfie feature. Turn it on and simply smile, and in 3 seconds it'll take your picture without needing to hit any buttons. I've almost dropped my phone holding it up trying to hit the button before, so I do appreciate the simple, cool feature. Low light performance is actually quite good with minimal noise. Is it the best camera I've ever looked at? I don't think I can say that, but considering the camera is usually where budget phones or even some flagship phones really cop out, I am very, very pleased with this camera quality. Okay, let's wrap this thing up. The OnePlus 3 is without a doubt the best budget phone on the market right now. It is the best feeling phone that I've ever felt in my hand. It has the best fingerprint sensor, super fast Oxygen OS, thankfully NFC is back, and a great camera. While I wish it had wireless charging and even more so some sort of waterproofing, for $399 US, this is a true flagship competitor, and for everything it lacks, it can be explained by the price. Well done, OnePlus. Well done.